Hello again, friends, and welcome to a special Side Jobs edition of 151 The Show. My name is Adam, and joining me tonight in the studio for the second time ever is my lovely wife, Steph. Hey, Steph.
Hi.
How are you?
Wonderful.
How's being knocked up feeling?
Awful.
Yes, believe it or not, my wife is knocked up, but we'll get to that here in a second. This is 151 The Show. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all at 151 The Show, even though 2 out of the 4 of those we don't really do much with because we don't have new material going out enough. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. You can also find us on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and all the other different channels. YouTube especially. Like, follow, share, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. As I said, if you missed anything, go to 151theshow.com for all of that. All right, so as we dive in tonight, it has been a long time since we did a show. I think the last show we did was July, maybe?
Well, cheese and rice, slacker.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for that. The last show we did, Justin and I, we talked about something or other. I can't remember what it was. And then the last time that you and I...
Lasting impression.
Well, it's just, you do so many of these, and you can't remember. And it was July. We had a lot going on in July.
I don't remember July.
I don't know, but the cats are just running around down here. Anyways, the last time that you and I sat down and did a podcast, it was the first time you and I had ever done one of these. And we talked about the Marvel, MCU, the Marvel. Can you tell I haven't done this in a while?
Struggle bus.
I know, right? Anyways, we talked about the MCU. We were about halfway through a rewatch. Since then, we have...
Finally finished. Probably took us 3 times as long to finish the second half as the first half.
Well, there was stuff going on. Like, when did we start that? I forget.
Forever
It was
ago.
like the beginning of the year, wasn't it?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, great. This is going to be a wonderful conversation tonight. Is neither one of us can remember shit about anything. So tonight on the show, we're going to dive into a little bit of everything. We might talk about our MCU rewatch a little bit more and how that kind of wrapped up. Earlier this week, the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer dropped again. The second one that showed a little bit more of the villains and all that. We'll talk about it. And earlier today, we actually went and saw Ghostbusters Afterlife. Want to start there?
Sure.
I'm
just here.
That kind of is. You're really pulling your weight so far. Anyways, earlier today, we did go and see Ghostbusters Afterlife, which came out, on Thursday or Friday this week. We finally saw it on Sunday.
Finally. It's the same week. I mean...
I know. I'm getting into, like, we're on the edge of Thanksgiving. I've got 2 days of work this week. The senioritis has kicked in. I'm kind of here, and I'm just doing the best I can. So get off my ass, okay?
I feel like anytime you see a movie in the first week, you're doing a good job.
Well,
But you know me. I go to the movies early just for you. I hate the... Well, there was no clapping today, but...
No, there wasn't.
This is the good thing about COVID. Nobody wants to go to the movie theater, so there's no clapping.
Why do you hate that so much?
They can't hear you. It's not a live performance.
The fact that you had that answer, like, ready to go is pretty telling. So let's get into Ghostbusters Afterlife. I don't know how many people... Listen, there's going to be spoilers here. So if you have not seen the movie or you're planning on it or whatever...
There's your warning.
Yeah, that's your warning, because we are going to get into it. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I had some issues with parts of it, but
Of
overall...
course.
Well, no, okay. God, I hate you sometimes. My issue with these movies when you have established history, like, you know that the original Ghostbusters in 1984, you know that the second one literally starts with 5 years later. You've got a general idea of when these people are doing things, right? And when people try and backfill, like, history just to try and make things work, Egon going and doing what he did in Oklahoma, that's cool. Trying to cram in and think about, okay, what's the timeline of him having this family that he's never talked about, and grandkids and all this other stuff. That's my issue with it, is trying to fill in those gaps with it. It's like, okay, you're trying to fill in timelines so that you can work the kids into this.
Yeah, if you do the math, it's probably a stretch with the ages of people.
The part that I don't understand, when did he go to Oklahoma in it?
I don't think it said.
Because he died.
They left that kind of open of.
Okay.
The ghost thing went out, and then they started doing their own thing, but they never really said, like, how long after.
Okay, so if it's 2021, she's got one kid. The older kid, the boy,
15.
was 15. So what? That would be 2006. She had him.
Sure.
And so that puts her, God, let's just say at least 20s.
Yeah.
At that point.
You just go when the movies were made. That's around when we were both born.
Yeah, but I mean, if she would have been born at, let's say she would have been born in 90.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as late as it could have been because the other one was 1989.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's a stretch.
It is.
I mean, well, because Paul Rudd never ages, so he's always he can play whatever age he wants. But I mean, she looked older.
She looked like me. She looked like she was in her 40s. Really?
Now the other one's got.
Now the other one has to go to the bathroom. You hear scratching and sand flying around. That's just the cat in its litter box.
Poop rally.
They've been chasing each other, apparently. But that's my issue with it, is trying to force in this other part of the story where it's like, okay, you did it just so you could get the kids involved.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Makes sense.
What did you like about it? What didn't you like?
I mean, I did like, especially in the age of let's remake this and let's bring this back to life. I did think they had a good balance of bringing the old back but making it new.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, I mean, because like the original Ghostbusters weren't in it a ton.
No.
And they really focused on the kids and kind of made it their own thing. I think the only thing, if I'm going to find something I didn't like, the ending just ended. Like there, you know how like every movie's always got like that last 2 or 3 minutes where they're like, look, everyone's happy and everything's resolved. They just, nope, they were like, done.
Done, everybody out.
Credits.
The most wrap up you got was Winston like rubbing the car and saying, hey, I'm going to take care of you. Not any of his friends or anything like
I'm not
that.
counting the post credits or anything.
Yeah.
But like, it was just,
No,
we're done.
He goes, what did they do to you? Don't worry, we're going to take you home and get you
Well,
fixed up or
even like, oh my God, I forgot his name in the movie, but Bill Murray's character.
Peter Venkman.
Yes, brain fart. He said they were all going to go and have hot chocolates. I'm like, oh, well, that's going to be the end scene. They're just going to sit around the table eating hot chocolate. And
When they showed up, what did you think?
well, I knew they were going to show up. But, well, I guess my initial thought was, God, Bill Murray looks like crap.
Time has done a beating on him.
Yeah, I mean, the other two look pretty good.
Winston hasn't.
He hasn't changed at all.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't changed it.
I mean, really, Dan Aykroyd hasn't. I mean, he's put on some weight, but who hasn't?
Funny story about him. For the other job, the radio job, one of the guys that gets me a lot of interviews, he does a lot of stuff with Discovery Plus and Travel Channel and all that. I saw this show come out. It was going to be like hosted by Dan Aykroyd or narrated by him, but it was going to be on Discovery Plus or Travel or one of those. And I'm like, I wrote him like, hey, can you get Dan Aykroyd for me? Because like, I don't know if that's going to happen. He goes, but I'll reach out and ask their people. Within 10 minutes, it was a no. Like, well, that dream died quick.
You're at a level 3. We need you to be at least at a 7.
Yeah. But I don't know. The end was okay. Like, the end seemed like they needed to wrap it up somehow.
Because you could still set up for another movie if even having a little resolution, even if it's just them sitting around the table drinking their hot chocolate.
So, okay, let me ask you this. What do you think they're going to do with a field full of traps?
Yeah, I don't know.
And just Gozer sitting out in this yard. Like, what if they run out of batteries? Or I don't know how they work, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they didn't really talk about what the end plan was. But, you know, they also tried to tell us that the firehouse was a Starbucks.
yeah, and that it really wasn't. This is 151, a special Side Jobs edition. My name is Adam, joined by my wife Steph tonight as we talk about Ghostbusters. You know what other part takes me out of some movies? The old car that just any mechanic can just get working with really no questions asked.
Well, I mean, I guess where
Especially
did those kids come from? Chicago, right? I think.
New York.
Well, they had Illinois plates.
Oh, did they? Maybe
Yeah.
they were in Chicago.
Yeah. So you've got one kid. I mean, the science nerd, whatever, that could make sense. You can learn those things in school. And then the other kid's just a mechanic. Like, how do you, like, especially when you're in the city, how do you just pick up that skill set at 15?
I don't know. I mean, maybe he was into cars or something. Like that didn't go so far, but the fact that he found this old car that's been in a barn that looks like nobody's touched it for.
And you never saw him go buy any parts
Yeah,
for it.
exactly. That's always the part that it's always like, well, the gaskets are probably bad. It's probably got bad belts.
But
the
as
fuel's
you
bad.
saw, something was helping.
Yeah. I mean, Egon definitely helped out. I like the touches of Egon helping his grandkids.
Yeah, they did that whole piece really well, considering.
I love the lamp moving around.
Yeah.
For some reason. I don't know why. But I thought, you know what's funny about it, though? The lamp moving around and helping the, the little girl fix the proton pack and, all this. It had more personality than Egon ever had in either of the two movies.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
Kind of out of character.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't hate the movie at all. I actually really liked it. I had a good time in it. I didn't get as misty-eyed as I thought when I thought they really just showed Ghost Egon at the end there.
Yeah.
I
think it might have been more if they would have been able to get him to talk. I mean, even if it was a few words, but...
That part didn't mind. I thought it would be a little bit more ghosty. He looked like a
my
hologram.
Initial thought was, why didn't he get sucked up with everyone else?
That's a good point. When Peter looked at him, I was waiting for, do we bust him? But like I said, just the little things about the movie. I could see when I was talking to the movie review guy, Mike Reyes, who comes on the show from time to time, it seemed like reviews on Friday were people either loved this movie or hated it. There wasn't a lot of middle ground. And I'm kind of in the middle on it. I liked it, but there's stuff I could pull it apart.
I'm sure that's what it comes down to. The people that liked it probably aren't the diehards like me. They watched the movie.
Yeah. They
know what happens. They were entertained. That's usually my only qualification. And the people that didn't are the ones that are nitpicking it apart and, well, you didn't have this thing placed at 10 degrees where it should have been. So
I wasn't offended by it like the 2016 one.
Yeah. And I wanted to like it, but it was too much. And I don't like the one girl, the girl that with the glasses, Kate. Whatever, she drives me nuts. Yeah, she drives me nuts. She's just too much.
Yeah, I can see that. None of the women were my issue with that movie. It was, are you in the universe or aren't you in the universe?
Well, yeah, that too.
That was what bugged me the most, because it's like you bring the original Ghostbusters back and you kind of make fun of them.
Yeah.
And they had to say yes to, come back and all that. I get that, but that's the part that it was like, are you in the universe or are you outside of it?
Yeah.
Are you a part of this or not?
It was just almost too cartoony.
Yeah.
But that was something about this movie. But when you watch the previews and stuff, it didn't seem that bad. Honestly, considering, let's take Jace. But it was definitely a lot.
There were some good jump scares in this.
Yeah, it was definitely darker. And, I mean, you just think when there's kids in it, obviously, horror movies.
Yeah.
You just think when there's kids starring in it that it's probably fine to bring a kid.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he probably would have been a little much.
The dog jumping out of the dark.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, gotcha. I'm trying to think of what else about the movie, but yeah, I just I liked it. The ghost, but the real ghost, and I say that I reference the cartoon when I say, but the actual Ghostbusters showing up at the end seemed like the fakest part of the whole movie.
Needed Slimer to come in.
Yeah, did you miss Slimer?
Muncher
was not a good sit-in for Slimer.
No, and I totally thought it was going to be Slimer. And then I was like, oh, that's not him. He does not have legs. I mean, because that was always kind of the thing, too. He would just show up somewhere.
Yeah. I wanted to see Rick Moranis in this.
Yeah. But I don't think anyone's talked him out of retirement yet, have they? I mean, they've tried. But...
Ryan Reynolds kind of did with doing the Mint Mobile commercial.
Yeah,
and then he got punched in the face by some random guy on the streets in New York. But...
Guy's a douche.
But the guy that punched him,
yes.
Rick Moranis.
Yes.
God, we don't need people
Who
descending.
punches Rick Moranis?
I don't know.
This cat is judging us hard.
Yeah. If we had cameras, we could show you all that. That or he wants to be a part of the podcast tonight. Damn, I had a thought about the movie, and then you had to say something about. Yeah, it really was a squirrel moment. So they're making a sequel, right?
Oh, probably.
Oh, I know what it was. You know what would have tied this together, and it would have been a very easy fix? Janine just being his wife.
Yeah. Because it made you wonder. Because she said she was hanging around that whole time.
Yeah. If you would have put that in there...
Then it could have happened instantly.
Yeah, the whole secret... she had the Rick Moranis stuff, and then maybe that's why he's not around, is because, she decided to go back with Egon, and he's Rick Moranis. Richard Tully. That was the part that if you would have just had her be the be his wife, her mom, and all that. And like, yeah, he ran off on me too. The whole timeline all of a sudden makes sense and works. And Egon doesn't have a secret life out there somewhere.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But the girl reminded me of young Sheldon, right?
Well, she was in the show. I mean, she plays that character on Young Sheldon.
It's just there's a couple parts. Bazinga. That's all it needed. It really did.
Yeah.
So, anyways, 151 The Show. This is what you're listening to. My name is Adam. That's Steph, my wife. You can find out more about us 151theshow.com, or you can follow us on a whole bunch of different social media at 151theshow. To wrap it up, I liked it. It had its issues, but overall, I liked it. Can't wait to see the sequel.
Ditto.
And I've talked to Ernie Hudson before.
You have. I remember that.
I did, and me and my buddy Moose on a certain morning show got him to say, "That's a big Twinkie."
The morning show we shall not speak of.
Well, the morning show was fine.
I know.
It's the station nobody wants to talk about.
Thou shall not be named.
Good luck. That's all we'll say. Anyways, as we do move on down the line, the other thing that came out this week, the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Now, we had the one, like, what, a month or so ago?
Feels like forever ago.
We've had a ton of different reports. We've had a ton of different quote-unquote pictures and evidence that there are more people in it that should. We got a new trailer, and it was awesome. I have not been this excited about a movie since probably Endgame.
Well, I mean, they really haven't. I mean, besides Black Widow, but I feel like COVID kind of killed the momentum for her movie.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there really hasn't been anything on the timeline that wasn't a new character or, you know, something completely...
Well, there was Shang-Chi.
But I don't feel like...
Which we just watched that, last week?
Yeah, but I don't feel like it touched the timeline, you know, because it was a new character. You're not really bringing in your familiar faces.
You're not shoehorning it into something.
Yeah, I mean, because I think with all the other movies, you're so tied and invested into that whole group of people. I mean, these are newer people that you're trying to figure out how you're going to bring them in.
And you know what? We've talked about it before, but that's a big reason why I don't like Captain Marvel and how they use the character. We've been with all these other characters for all this amount of time, and all of a sudden you're just going to say, hey, here's your new hero you're supposed to love. Do it.
Yeah, and it's not, hey, do you want to join our club? Kind of like they did with Shang-Chi.
It's kind of, it's the equivalent of, and for the WWE fans, when they were trying to shove Ronda Rousey down everybody's throat. It's like, I'm not going to like Ronda Rousey anymore just because... you're telling me
But you know what? They got rid of her Karen hair, as we saw in the post-credits. So maybe they finally listened to everyone and said, stop making her a Karen. Yeah. And maybe...
Real quick, the Shang-Chi movie, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Like, it was another one of those movies where I've heard, like, a couple buddies at work, that like, one was, it's okay, I'm not crazy about it. Another dude loved it, another guy didn't like it. And then I saw it and I was like, wow, that's really cool. I had a lot of fun with that movie.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, his friend really helped bring in a lot of the I can't remember her name. Although I was really, and maybe it wouldn't work with the ages, but all I kept thinking was, oh my God, it should have been Ali Wong. She's freaking hilarious. I mean, not that this girl wasn't hilarious, but...
You know what part of that movie, like, bothered me and made me squirm a little bit?
What's that?
At the very end where the dark monster or whatever it is trying to suck the soul out of the dragon, and it's like holding it, like sucking the soul. I don't know why, but that made me uncomfortable. I really felt for that dragon at that moment.
Interesting.
I don't know why. It just was like, put him down. Put him down.
Well, I was kind of surprised that, I guess going into it, I expected it to be more of a battle between him and his dad. And I mean, there was, but there was just a lot of other stuff. And then when he got the rings, he just kind of chucked them in a bag.
Well, there you go. That's fine. Back to the Spider-Man trailer. So it's got a ton of views, obviously. Coming out December 17th. Were you that invested into the Sam Raimi Spider-Man?
The who to whata?
Okay, that answers that question. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
I mean, I watched them. I thought it was fine. I mean, but that was before you really had the whole universe tie-ins, you know? So I feel like you watched it with a different mindset.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I remember that first Spider-Man movie was my favorite. I can remember going to it multiple times in the theater, like as soon as it came out on DVD, like at midnight.
I had it on VHS.
Oof.
Yes.
You're that old. And I'm older. But like I went and I got that. I watched it over and over again when I got it. The second one was so good. And then I remember the third one just being garbage.
You're never going to make Tobey Maguire look like a bad person.
It wasn't really that. It was the misuse of Venom.
Yeah.
Venom in the comic, and I
And
know
Topher Grace was kind of a bad casting for that too.
yeah, because he's supposed to be, and even Tom Hardy's kind of a bad. Tom Hardy's bad size wise because Venom was a bodybuilder, so he was just a big dude. Anyways, you fast forward the Andrew Garfield one. I was never crazy about those movies.
I felt he was a little bit more believable as a Peter Parker because he was a little bit younger, but I always liked Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man better, but Tom Holland's definitely the best mix of both.
See, I thought Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker was the best version of it because Peter Parker wasn't, again, in the comic. In the main continuity and all that, I mean, Peter Parker wasn't the cool kid. He wasn't the cool kid until way later.
Yeah.
And even then, it's questionable. Andrew Garfield, I always thought if they would have called it the Ultimate Spider-Man and put it in the Ultimate universe, it would have got a pass on a lot of stuff. But because they made it the Amazing Spider-Man, you attach that to it, and Peter Parker, like I said, he wasn't the cool kid. He wasn't the skater kid,
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know. It's a little thing, but I think I would have liked to seen it if they said, hey, we're going to make the Ultimate Spider-Man. And then they could have kept the suit. I thought that suit was cool, the first one. And then they changed it to, like, exactly the Amazing Spider-Man suit. It's like, wow, that's cool. But Tom Holland, they did not show any of the other Spider-Men in this movie. They mentioned them, kind of, in passing. We got more Otto Octavius. What's your name?
That's pretty funny.
You've got the Lizard. You've got Electro. You've got
Sand Guy.
Sandman. Sand Guy. That's like the knockoff version of him. Sand Guy.
I don't remember what his name is. Dude made of sand.
Sand Guy. Coming in February.
But Green Goblin's in it, and it's the same guy, and he's
William Dafoe.
Creepy as hell. I mean, that's what I think I enjoyed the most about the original Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the best villain.
Sam Raimi, and that's the guy who directed, he always kind of turned into that curve of writing the kind of comic booky type look and the kind of scary, and kind of embraced like the two and had a really good mix of it. I always thought that was a good thing with William Dafoe and that Green Goblin was how he looked and acted. And
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he scared the hell out of you.
well, you were just a little kid at the time. I mean,
It was on VHS.
Yes. I've talked to a few people about what we think's happening. I think everything we've seen from Marvel leading up to WandaVision, Loki, you're seeing it in this, and what's going to lead towards Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange. Like, this is where the MCU, like, fractures and becomes everything, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's just going to turn into a big old mess that nobody can keep straight.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be something you can't keep straight, but I want to see how they end up doing it, because everybody thought it was coming in WandaVision. Everybody was sure that's how we're getting mutants and the Fantastic Four and Mephisto and all this other stuff. And then you have, the Venom post-credit scene, which we haven't watched Venom 2, but I watched the post-credit scene because of this.
Cheater.
Yep. I cheat on movies, not on you. You've got that. You've got Morbius in his trailer, with Toombs, the Vulture, and a few of that kind of stuff, where you're starting to see some of this mixing of universes and stuff. I'm excited about it. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
Adrian Toombs, you remember the Vulture in the first Spider-Man movie? Michael Keaton?
Yes.
He's in the Morbius, the Jared Leto trailer. Do you know what Morbius is?
No.
It's he's the living vampire. It's a new movie that's coming. Oh my god. Well then.
No, I've not seen. And that's in this universe?
Kinda. I don't know. See, that's the thing. You don't know where exactly it is. And if I could tell you about the Venom 2 post-credit scene, we might be able to get somewhere. But now I feel bad. But no, I just
Damn it, I try.
You do a really good job of it. Well, we came out of the movie today, and I'm like, does it feel weird we didn't go to a Marvel movie? Nope, cats are chasing everybody again, in case you heard anything in the background. No, I love seeing Otto Octavius back because he was one of the Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi one, is one of my favorites. It's so good on so many levels. I like Green Goblin. I think it's interesting you have a version of Electro, but it's not the one that was in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, or is it? And that's where it gets kind of weird, and that's what all the talk is coming from. But I think we are going to get more than one Spider-Man because of that Brazilian trailer.
There's been so much talk of it. It's got to be out there. It's not like just one random fan theory. There's a lot.
Well, when you see the lizard's head get whipped around and nothing there to do it.
Yeah.
Although somebody did bring up an interesting thing. It was Reyes again. He was telling me one of his buddies was thinking, he goes, is that a mistake or is it invisible? Is it an invisible Spider-Man? Because there's one Spider-Man that can actually turn invisible.
Oh, so we might be getting Spider-Pig.
No, Miles Morales. But sure. How great would it be if it was Spider-Pig? He got Miles Morales and Spider-Pig. And Nick Cage still messing with the Rubik's Cube. They're supposed to be doing another Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah.
I think that comes out next year or so.
Comes out on December 17th.
No, that's No Way Home. That was a funny joke, though, you tried to do. Anyways, this is 151. My name is Adam. That's Steph. She's joining me on a special Side Jobs edition of it tonight. If you want to find out more about us or listen to more shows, head over to 151theshow.com. Please like, follow, share, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. What do you want to wrap up with tonight?
I don't know. You were the one that was listing off 35,000 things, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just going to show up and pray for the best.
Yeah, but you know what? When I asked you if you wanted to podcast again, you seemed kind of excited about it.
I thought we were just picking up where we left off, and they're like, let's go down this rabbit hole, and then this one.
We just saw Ghostbusters today.
This one.
Like, how can you not be prepared for that?
I don't. It happened today. That's how I cannot be prepared.
Hey, baby, stop stealing her blood. All right, let's wrap up with the MCU stuff, our final watch of it. Which, God, that's been over a month or two ago now that we finally wrapped it up.
We just watched Shang-Chi last week, so we wrapped it up last week.
Okay. Please, take it from here. You special lady.
Just pointing out facts here.
Oh, God.
It's my job.
It's under the wife heading. Anyways, all right, so the MCU wrap up. I don't know where they're taking it. I think that's the big thing is you kind of got a hint on where things were going. You know, if you go back to the original Iron Man movie, the post-credit scene was, I'd like to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative, you know?
Well, I just feel like, and as much new things as they've been bringing in and the multiverse, it's either get used to some new people coming in and forget about the originals. I mean, because some of those people have been, I mean, obviously that's why, like, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. went out because they'd been in it forever, but, like, I feel like that's going to be the biggest shift is those people that have been around forever are going to slowly be.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want to keep following, you got to jump on board with the new ones.
There's part of it that's that for me.
As much as you'd like to continue to see these same characters develop more. But
I would like to see them not do something that's universe related. And I mean, that kind of goes to the Eternals, which neither one of us has seen. And to be frank with you, I don't even really want to see it.
I mean, I do just to see
I'll
how it tie in,
yeah. But
the excitement wasn't there.
There
just
was
because you know it's going to be completely different.
There was nothing about Eternals that made me go, I need to go see that in the theater. It was kind of the same thing as, you know what, I'll just see it when it comes to Disney Plus. I would like to see them do something that's not like entire universe related. The Secret Avengers is kind of a cool, or the Dark Avengers. Some of those storylines might be kind of neat. I know they're getting ready to do Disney when they did their Disney Plus day. They put out 57 different, title cards, and Secret Invasion was in there. I would actually like to see the Secret Invasion done as a movie.
When they put all those out, I wish they would also include a disclaimer, like, you need to watch this if you want to understand what's going on. And this is just a nonsense cartoon, like,
Yeah.
but they didn't really.
But
They did not provide me with that information.
How dare you not provide my wife with some sort of information? I think that's just a question. Somebody said at one point that they were going to do like Marvel was going to split into two kind of realms, where one was going to be kind of like the happening on Earth stuff and happening out in space type stuff.
Well, that would make sense.
And it does. I mean, if you look at, Falcon and Winter Soldier compared to the other ones, that was I like that story because it wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't the end of existence was on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just some shit going down. Like, that one is believable where you're not like, where the f*** is everyone else?
Jesus. That's a lot of bleeps all at once. But, no, it's kind of like that, but like coming off the Infinity Gauntlet, it's like, okay, what's bigger than that?
Yeah.
Or a Celestial or some of this other stuff. It's like, okay, I guess we can go down that road. I'm sure we're going to watch it and we're going to hand Disney our money as soon as anything
I'm
comes
sure.
out. So.
Yeah. I did see, well, and again, because we haven't seen the movie, but they were saying that Harry Styles' character is supposed to be Thanos' brother. I did see the picture of, and how are they related?
Apparently Thanos was a big part, or partly part of the Eternals, if that makes any sense at all.
Well, I mean,
that's like the one piece of the puzzle we're missing right now is the Eternals part of the conversation. So,
but everybody says it's completely different. But I mean, I feel like they're referencing, like even in the previews, they reference the Avengers enough to try and make themselves relevant to remind you, we're in here, we fit in this box.
Hey, real quick, Angelina Jolie in a movie. Whenever I see her in a movie trailer, I just think it's the same character over and over. Am I alone in that, or
no? I think that's accurate. And like, I don't know, people get so excited, and I've never thought she was anything great.
Oof.
I don't know. Not my cup of tea.
Okay. I think she's horrible at her job.
Well, I mean, she just kind of plays the same character, like you just said, and I don't know. I've never been like seen her in a movie where like I felt like I could relate to her, I guess, maybe.
Maleficent?
Well, yeah, I guess I did like that one.
Did you relate to her in that movie?
No, but I didn't like despise her in that movie like I do in some of the other ones.
Because she was the evil queen.
Maybe that's it.
Oh, God. On that note, this is 151 The Show. My name is Adam. My special guest.
The other person here. Blah.
Or knocked up mouthy lady. It's my wife. And we just rambled through about a half hour worth of bullshit here, so we should probably start to wrap up here. All right, friends, this has been another edition of 151. My name is Adam. That's Steph. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget TikTok as well, at 151 The Show. We're on Podbean, Apple Podcast, Google, and Stitcher.
All of the things, apparently.
All of the things, as my wife says. If you want to interact with us, just head to 151theshow.com. We can't end without a shameless plug.
Oh, cue the music. Yeah, that's my job over here. You know, there's no replacing Justin on that.
No. Oh, that's my job.
It's my responsibility when I'm over here.
Tonight's shameless plug is coming from me, and the shameless plug is basically just something in the show where we shamelessly plug out of something. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be a service, it could be a food, it could be an item. It could be a website like I'm about to tell you about. So for those of you playing along at home, I work in radio. I'm a big radio nerd. I like radio. I like a lot of different parts of radio. There is a website called radio.garden. It was on TikTok. There was a guy that he was doing powerful websites you should know, number 109, or whatever it happened to be. Well, anyways, Radio Garden is this, it looks kind of like Google Earth, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get bored? Did I lose you? Anyways, so Radio Garden, you, and I'm showing my wife right now, you can go anywhere in the world, zoom in on these little green dots, and what the green dots are radio stations, and it's their automatic stream, and it'll tell you a little bit about the station, and
he doesn't actually know how to operate.
I haven't used it much on mobile. I'm sorry, but no, you zoom in and it'll show you the station. It'll give you like Elk Grove Village view all stations. And it's WNUR 98.3, Ghostly, Lancer Radio 99.9. Let's see, WRTP FM 95.3, The Bowl in Rockford, Illinois. And it'll just start playing its stream for you. I don't know, it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Well, you too. I thought this was pretty awesome because you can kind of go around and, oh my God, look at this.
Well, I guess if you're traveling and you don't want to just randomly scroll through the seek button, you could plot your route.
Well, I'm glad you brought a shameless plug to the table tonight.
That was not in my job description for the day.
Awesome. All right, friends. Well, if you want to check out radio.garden, go ahead. Apparently it's stupid, so that's going to do it for us. Have a great rest of the night.
Bye-bye.